I wish I could pay someone to follow me around and karate chop my phone out of my hand every time I grab it. Lately, I've been low key having like an existential crisis about all the hours I'm losing to my phone where I could be connecting with people or just seeing the world, touching grass, you know what I mean? But the typical dopamine detox, they're just unrealistic for the average person. Like, we need to be on our devices to work, to keep in touch with family, to coordinate our lives. So I created a week-long digital detox that is actually realistic, but still groundbreaking, if I may say so, and life-changing. At least it was for me. Also, we're not white knuckling this over here. Slow and steady wins the race. We're not gonna do like crazy fad diet. So I incorporated Cal Newport's philosophies on digital minimalism that actually set me up for success. I'm also crazy prone to overthinking. So this is just like a no existential crisis zone from now on. No fear mongering. We are not going to tackle digital addiction like that. Going to tackle it with love, constructive criticism, and strategy here, people. All about the strat. Business people over here. Just kidding. I don't even know my timetables. But yeah, let's get into it. So in this video, I'm going to explain who Cal Newport is and why his ideas have influenced millions of people, the science behind dopamine, scrolling, and digital overstimulation. Side note, I actually have a master's degree. I know it's surprising. The exact rules I'm following for the next 7 days, the practical systems I'm using so I don't fail by day 2, which I have done many times in the past, what I'm replacing scrolling with, and a challenge project that will help turn all of this reclaimed time into something tangible by the end of the week. Because I don't want this to be like a week of deprivation. I want it to be a week of creation. Rhyming. Yeah. A week where instead of consuming all the time, we actually produce something. That sounds cool. So, if you've been feeling distracted, overstimulated, or simply curious about how much of your life is being spent online, I challenge you to do this with me. 7 days, that's it. Let's see what happens. So this challenge, it was heavily inspired for me by the work of Cal Newport. Cal Newport is a computer science professor at Georgetown University and the best-selling author of books like Deep Work, Digital Minimalism, and So Good They Can't Ignore You. What makes Newport's philosophy interesting is that he isn't anti-tech. He's not advocating that everyone delete their phones and disappear into the woods, go Unabomber, you know. Instead, he argues that technology should serve our values rather than dictate them. So one of his core ideas is that we should stop asking, what benefits does this technology provide? And start asking, does this technology meaningfully support the life I want to live? Many of our digital habits weren't consciously chosen, they simply became habits. And this week is an opportunity to step back and examine them, not from a place of judgment, like I said, we're anti-existential crisis, but from a place of curiosity. So, in terms of the science, let's talk about dopamine, because dopamine has become one of the most misunderstood concepts on the internet. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical. It's more closely associated with motivation, reward seeking, anticipation, and learning. The issue actually isn't dopamine. The issue is that modern technology delivers an endless stream of novelty and potential rewards. Every swipe offers something new. Every notification is like this anticipation. Did he text me back? You know the feeling. Every dating app match creates possibility, and every refresh might reveal something interesting. But researchers refer to this as variable reward reinforcement. It's the same psychological principle that makes slot machines so compelling. Yeah, that's right, in casinos. You don't know when the reward is coming, so you keep checking again and again and again and again, and you're wasting your life. This doesn't mean we're weak. It means we're human. The problem is that when our brains become accustomed to constant stimulation, normal activities can start to feel less engaging by comparison. Like reading becomes harder. When's the last time you read a book? I personally really need to work on that. Studying gets harder. Creative work gets harder. Even sitting quietly can feel like uncomfortable. The goal of this challenge isn't to eliminate dopamine. That's impossible. The goal is to reduce unnecessary digital stimulation long enough to see what happens when our attention isn't constantly being pulled in 5 million different directions. So let's talk about the rules that I made for myself for the week. And I really encourage you to also iterate and change these depending on your life and your situation. So I'm not eliminating technology. I also work remote, like I need technology, but I'm creating boundaries around it. And the goal isn't perfection, the goal is intentionality. So rule number 1, recreational apps are limited to 25 minutes per day. That means like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, like dating apps, Reddit, stuff like that. Any app that falls into the category of entertainment or mindless consumption. All of it combined is limited to 25 minutes per day. And I'm using like just the clock stopwatch on my phone to time this. I used to pay for Opal, but like I'm just doing this the old fashioned way over here. So awareness is powerful. And the timer prevents the just 5 minutes from becoming an hour. Rule number two is that recreational apps can only be used inside my house. I know that may sound kind of weird, but actually, it makes me sad when I'm like on the subway or something like that, and I'm on my phone and I realize like I could like meet a new friend here. Like I've had weird situations where I've met friends in like an Uber and stuff like that. Like you don't know when the next thing is going to happen in your life that could lead to a friend, a relationship, maybe just an insight into yourself or someone else. And so that's why I do not want to use my phone when I'm commuting, when I'm waiting in line, when I'm sitting in a coffee shop, not in public. And again, stuff like work or like an email I really, really need to respond to is an exception. That's fine. But I'm talking about those recreational activities. Like some of the most valuable moments in life happen outside our screens. It's like striking up a random conversation or like even just like seeing somebody's outfit and being like, wow, they look so cool. Like I want to get like, I don't know, a shirt like that. It's a sort kind of random, but you know what I mean? Like if you want to scroll, do it at home. And I don't want my default response to every moment of downtime to be reaching to my phone. Rule number three is that texting is actually allowed. Again, this challenge isn't about disconnecting from people. It's about being more intentional with technology. So texting is allowed. Calling people is allowed. Making plans is allowed. Use your phone to like make in-person plans with other people. That is great. Keeping in touch with friends and family. You get the drift. So technology can be a fantastic tool for strengthening relationships, actually, especially if you don't live near each other. But the distinction I'm making is between connection and consumption. Rule number four is the challenge is a clear finish line, okay? So before I begin, I'm setting an alarm on my phone for exactly 1 week from now. You can use like the toggle on the iPhone for like Monday to, you can choose which weekday. So whatever day it is from now, 7 days, put it for the exact same day so that you know you're getting an alarm at that point and you're actively being timed from the moment that you set that alarm. 7 days, no guessing, no vague commitment. Rule number five is replace, don't just remove. This is literally such a big one. Also something that Cal Newport has spoken about on a bunch of podcasts and stuff that I've seen of him. Look, every source of stimulation I remove needs to be replaced with something meaningful because like attention hates a vacuum. So like, for example, I've seen like a lot of people in public actually crocheting, which not my vibe. A, I would suck at it. B, like don't come for me crocheters, but it does kind of give me a bit of old lady energy, which is fine if that's your thing. But I don't know. It just like, I don't feel that attraction to it. Okay. But maybe I'll do it when I'm like 80. But I think it's really cool when I see, it's usually girls doing it. When I see girls doing it, I'm like, good for them because like it is a really mindful activity, actually. If you want to do something like that, bring that or like a Rubik's Cube. Like, I don't know, like be nerdy, bring a book. Like anything that gets you outside of that digital suck, if you know what I mean. And in the olden days, that sounds so weird. In the olden days, like when we were children, like I feel like we would always have some sort of like, I don't know, yo-yo, like little toys and stuff like that. Maybe I'm aging myself, but you get the drift, like just something to fiddle with. Anything that just keeps your hands and your mind on something more classical, on something that is more constructive and mindful than your phone. So the systems I'm using to succeed. The first system is simple. I'm bringing a book with me everywhere. So that's the one that I chose. It might not be for you, but it's the one that I chose. One reason is we automatically reach for our phones. It's because they're always available, right? And I was saying that I had wanted to get back into reading. So that is what I have chosen. The second system is environmental. I'm keeping my phone in my bag instead of in my hand whenever possible. Behavioral psychology consistently shows that friction matters. The easier something is to access, the more likely we are to do it automatically again and again and again. Creating even a small barrier, guys, can dramatically reduce these mindless habits. And the third system is scheduling. I'm intentionally filling my calendar with social engagement, sports that I do, events, meetups, activities, time with my friends, time with my family, time outside the house. Because one thing Cal Newport talks about extensively is the importance of high quality leisure. A meaningful life isn't built simply by removing distractions, it's built by replacing them with better alternatives. And that leads to the final system. So the final thing that I'm doing is a creation challenge. So I don't want this week to be this week to be defined by what I didn't do. I want it to be defined by what I did do. So alongside the digital detox, I'm setting a creation challenge. By the end of this week, I want to complete something, not consume something, create something. So maybe that's finishing a book. Maybe it's like, I have to finish this book by the end of the week. Writing a short story, starting a blog, creating artwork, building something, learning a new skill, redecorating your room, organizing your space. Maybe it's like working through like a box you've had in your basement for a long while and you want to sort it out. Could be, it doesn't have to be glamorous, okay? It could be anything. And the specific project does not matter. What matters is having something tangible to show for the time you've reclaimed. Because at the end of the week, I don't want my biggest achievement to be like, I spent less time on Instagram. Yay me. Like, no, I want to actually have something tangible that I'm like, wow, I like spent all that time and did this instead. How cool is that? So 7 days, a little less scrolling, a little more living, and hopefully something meaningful to show for it at the end. Hope this helped. Please subscribe if you enjoyed it. I have so many different challenges that I am wanting to showcase. I do them a lot in my personal life, but I think it's fun to kind of like be really structured with it, make a plan and lay it out, and also post it for accountability and maybe to inspire others. So all the best and have a good one.